Today, I'm putting my reputation on the line by seeing if I can outcook the 2 best meatball subs in Brooklyn. Can I make a better version? How do we find out? Well, I'm gonna have all my employees, everybody at the BCU, taste the sandwich and review it. And to avoid nepotism, I'm going to have them blind taste test it against the 2 best meatball subs in Brooklyn. This one is from Brooklyn DOP, this one's from Carmenta's Italian Specialties. These are revered as fantastic iterations of the meatball sub formula. So I'm gonna try them now, and I'm going to try and make a competitor to them and see what happens. This episode is sponsored by Trade Coffee. I love Trade because it delivers the best at-home coffee experience. They curate hundreds of the world's best specialty coffees in one easy-to-find place for you to browse and order. Whether you want a coffee subscription tailored to you or personally pick your newest roast, they have you covered. Trade is so confident that you'll love your experience with them that they're offering 30% off your first month. Visit drinktrade.com/Babish to try it out. Okay, so we're starting with Brooklyn DOP. Oh, damn, that looks good. That bread looks really good. Uh-oh, I already feel in trouble. Oh, okay, that looks nice. All right, they're going with halved meatballs. Looks like they have fresh basil, chopped basil on there. And this really sturdy, I think it's semolina. I think it's got semolina flour on it, sesame seed hero. Let's try it out. Oh man, that's good. Definitely provolone in there, definitely mozz, lots of basil, that's great. The bread is a little crunchy for me. Like I like a really, soft hoagie, and this is a little bit crunchy, so like not only does it kind of, hit the roof of your mouth, but also squishes stuff out. Like when I bite this, it's just it's compressing everything. Man, that's good though. All right, and now we have Carmenta's Italian Specialties. Ooh, oh, that looks nice too. That looks awfully nice. I think they're gonna be able to tell which one's mine because there's no way that my bread is gonna look this nice. Look at the bread utilization. That's mostly meatball. How do they do it? I'm in trouble, man. That's the one. This bread is softer on the top. It's not too rigid, so it's not squeezing everything out. Oh man, it's good. Man, I'm in trouble. Not much cheese, by the way. Okay, no, the meatballs are like resting in a bed of cheese, I see. Both are using whole basil on the sandwich, so too shall I. And I think I have some things that maybe will work to my advantage. These meatballs are delicious, but they're a little springy. And so I have a meatball that is very, very tender that I'm very excited about. So if I really knock the meatball and the bread out of the park, sounds obvious, but then I'll win. But man, I did not expect this to be this good. I love meatball subs, but usually they're pretty predictable. These are fantastic. So I have my work cut out for me.
Would you believe that this sandwich sells for $22 American?
Shut up. Are you being serious?
I'm being serious.
This sandwich cost $22. That is an incredible amount of money for an incredible sandwich. I'll give that to you. And I'm not saying like, this is $22, make it at home. It's gonna take half the day and it's still gonna cost you much more than that because you gotta buy all the meat. I'm not saying like, this is expensive, just do it yourself. Like, I wanna see if I can cook up to and or past this level. I was very confident I was gonna be able to crush these, but they're really good. So now if I can just meet them on their level, if I can just be at their par, I'll be thrilled, I'll be over the moon. Okay, let's get cooking. So, bread. You need bread, right? You need bread for a meatball sub, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so in a meatball sub, I like bread that has a little bit of a crispy crust, but not too much. I don't wanna tear up the roof of my mouth and gnarl the, what do you call it? What is that? I want something that is gonna have a little bit of crispiness to it, but it's soft and chewy, when your teeth sink. That's what I want. You understand what I'm trying to say? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a classic Italian semolina loaf and I'm gonna it right up with an egg. Because the egg is not only gonna add fat, it's gonna add protein. So that's going to make the bread softer and it's going to make it chewier because protein is what strengthens gluten networks in bread. This is scary because I've never made this before, and I'm doing math, which I'm not particularly good at, and everything rides on it. So why am I doing this? So how much does one egg weigh? The contents, that is. 55 grams. This egg has 75% water, 9% fat. And this recipe has water and fat in the form of water and olive oil. And if I'm adding an egg, I'm adding water and fat. So I need to take away a certain amount of water and a certain amount of olive oil. Got? So that's 41, let's call it 42 grams of water just to be safe. And the recipe, 354 minus what?
Just so people don't gloss over with all this math, I'm going to put in really dramatic music for this. So if you could do math like that. Yeah.
2 equals 312 grams of water.
And so Andrew ran the numbers. Incomprehensible to mathematicians, his calculations coalesced into what he was certain would be a profound loaf.
It's perfection. And it's hot. You see it's hot. See how it's hot?
Unfortunately, Andrew forgot to remove the amounts derived from his mental labor, and so all we got from it was this ridiculous bit.
Now, for the flour, I need 4 cups of semolina. This is a flour made from semolina. Big boy mix is getting busted out. I'm gonna bust that big boy. Won't you help me bust the big boy? Ew! We have a poolish here that Rachel was kind enough to make for me last night. This is just a mixture of flour, water, and yeast that you let sit overnight to pre-ferment. That's gonna add nice flavor to the loaf. Salt and yeast, oil of olive, egg. Now this gets mixed just to let everybody get to know each other. That's good and smooth. I'm gonna take this paddle, I'm gonna swap for a bread kneading hook, and I'm going to add the dries. 4 cups of semolina flour and 188 grams of bread flour. This should give it, hopefully, both a nice crisp and a nice chew. This is gonna need anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. Gotta get this guy well comfortably into and past the window pane test. This is not a good time to be talking about this. There's an active machine running in the foreground. What? I didn't add the water. You need to do that. Just if you make this, just make sure you do that. Okay, 1.5 cups of water. Hopefully it's not too late. I might have f***ed this up. But no, it looks like it's coming together. All right. It's a beautiful dough in that it is slightly sticky, but it's clearing the sides of the bowl, so it's really well hydrated. And it is beautifully passing the window pane test. So it is ready to go. There's our dough. It's in the thingy. This guy's gonna proof for an hour, and then it's gonna be shaped, and that's gonna proof for an hour, and it's gonna be baked. Then we're gonna have bread, then we turn it into meatball subs. And that's how the food chain works. All right, we're doing it well.
What are we doing?
Oh, making meatballs. To make the meatballs, I'm making the meatballs from the 30 Rock episode. These are the best meatballs I've ever had in my life, so I'm taking no chances on this one. This starts with a panade. Now, panade is basically a mixture of bread or breadcrumbs and dairy, and this both brings structure and moisture to your meatballs. And flavor as well, because for my dairy, I'm gonna be using a buttermilk. And to amp up the fat content of my meatballs, I'm gonna be using heavy cream, egg yolk in addition to egg, and some processed up pine nuts. There's like so much fat going into these meatballs, they just basically become the juiciest meatballs on the planet of Earth. Okay, so we have our 4 slices of bread with the crusts removed, torn into little tiny bits, with a 1/2 cup of buttermilk. I'm also adding a tablespoon, I believe, of heavy cream. And what I really want is for this to turn into a paste. All right, that's looking good, I like that. So if I smear it like that, you can see there's not really distinct pieces of bread anymore, it's just a paste. So that means we're in good shape. Now I'm going to start cooking and toasting stuff that I can add to it for flavor. So most of the stuff is heading over to the stove top, and so too shall we. Join me, won't you? Light olive oil. I'm gonna be caramelizing these onions. Add a couple cloves of smashed garlic, I believe a 1/4 cup of pine nuts, 1 finely minced anchovy, and 1 chopped Calabrian chili. These are just gonna get a little bit of heat, a little bit of love that's gonna deepen their flavor, and it's gonna make our meatballs all the tastier. Oh, it smells awfully nice. So, into a food processor is going 4 ounces of pancetta. Normally I would, cook it beforehand, but they're getting cooked in the meatballs, and I don't want the chunks of fat in there. They're a little chewy. So they're gonna get processed, so they just become a flavor in the meatball rather than a texture. I also have about a 1/4 cup of Zante currants. This is a very Sicilian thing, and the Sicilian thing to do is to leave pine nuts and currants whole in the meatball, and I hate that. So I'm processing it down into a paste that will just give the flavor to the meatball rather than weird sort of chewy, crunchy bits all throughout. Like that's gross. Come on, Sicilians. All right, so we got our pancetta and currants in there. I'm going to add our onion, other stuff mixture, and I'm also going to add a bunch of chopped parsley and some basil. Pulse this guy together. So I'm grating, this is Parmesan, and I'm also going to be adding some Pecorino Romano. This is, of course, going to add their lovely, nutty, salty, funky flavors to our meatballs. Here's the paste. That is going to be just this huge flavor injection in it. To make sure that this is evenly distributed throughout the meatballs, I'm going to add it and the eggs and a couple other little things to the panade. And we got some dried oregano, cracked fennel seed, some lemon zest, salt, 1 whole egg, and 1 egg yolk. And let's just mix everybody together. There's our panade mixed with all the flavor-y stuff. Okay, you can't have a meatball without meat. Otherwise you just have a ball. Nobody wants to eat that. So for the meat, I'm had 1 pound each beef, pork, and veal. The classic trio, the Father, Son, and Holy Shit. Whoops. So before I mix in too much of the panade, as you can see, I am mixing the meat together on its own a little bit. That's just so I don't have streaks of just beef or just pork, just every bite has a little bit of each. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Oh, I forgot to add pepper. So let me massage this pepper in and then I can cook up a little bit of it. This is the only way, unless you're an Italian grandmother who just eats raw meat, to test a meatball's flavor before committing to the ball. All right. Got ourselves ball sample. The flavor's all there. I think we're good to go. It's not, I feel like it could use a little more salt, but I don't want to overwork it at this point. I did work these balls pretty hard. Time to make sauce. For that you need tomatoes. I have whole San Marzanos. I'm going to process these tomatoes. So I'm draining off the excess liquid so I can process these without creating a huge mess. Right in the can. There we go. Now in goes the onion. Not trying to get color on these onions, just trying to sweat them. Lower the heat. I'm going to crush in 4 large cloves of garlic. I like a garlicky sauce. After the garlic has sauteed for about 30 seconds, that's when I'm going to add maybe 3 tablespoons of tomato paste and some very diarrhea-like sun-dried tomato paste. We're letting that saute until it's kind of like sticking to the bottom of the pot a little bit. After that's had 30 seconds, minute, I can add the tomatoes, and I'm gonna add their juice too because I think we have enough time to cook it all off. You want the sauce to be significantly thinner than where you want it to end up because it's gonna cook for a while and it's going to reduce, it's gonna get thicker. Then I have 2 stems of basil with some leaves on them. The stems are gonna bring lots of flavor and you wouldn't be able to use them otherwise. So I'm just putting them in there just to sort of steep like tea. We're gonna dig them out later. Ooh, I also wanna put a Parmesan rind in there. The rind of the Parmesan, this is not an edible thing, but what it does end up doing is lending a ton of awesome flavor to your awesome sauce. Sorry I said that. Plop them in, get the heat down there. You don't want this to be bubbling because then it's gonna scorch on the bottom and you're gonna get all those acrid flavors in there. And then my last little thing is 1 carrot, peeled, chopped in half. Gonna fish those out later too. What that's gonna do is as it cooks, it's going to almost act like a natural sugar. A lot of people add sugar to their tomato sauce because they wanna sweeten it because it's too harsh or bitey or tomatoey. This is a way to naturally sweeten the sauce and flavor it as well. Like carrot is a nice flavor. It's a great base flavor, so it's welcome. So I'm gonna bring that up to a simmer and maintain it at just a bare bubble and probably cook it for at least an hour and then add the meatballs and cook it even further. So this should be quite a flavorful sauce at the end of the day. So, bread was massively overproofed, just due to a timing issue. But I mean, I'm sure it's still viable. I think it's gonna be just fine. I need to make 5 equal rolls. Also, I'm sorry that there is some mixer sound. We have Rachel baking a backup loaf just in case I nuked this one by overproofing it. So now I need to roll it out. So I'm gonna oil my worktop, and then I'm gonna grab the first one that I formed, which I believe was this guy, and I'm going to lightly coat him in oil. I'm gonna roll it out into basically like a 10-inch-ish rectangle, 10 inches wide that is, because I want it to be the width of my intended submarine roll. And then I'm gonna roll it up, sort of pinching as I go, making sure there's no trapped air in there, like so. Tuck these kind of messy ends in underneath. I think that's gonna be just right, actually. Nice and skinny, I like that. And then this is going on our prepared baking sheet, which, just to confuse them, because both of those rolls had sesame seeds on top and bottom. So I'm gonna line this with semolina flour and sesame seeds, so that way we're all on the same page. Stretch and begin to roll and tuck. Roll and tuck, roll and tuck the whole day long. We're gonna cover these up with oily plastic wrap, then we're gonna let them rise for about an hour, and we're gonna bake them, and God willing, they're gonna be even remotely as decent as the stuff that we got sent here. Damn it! F***ing gloves! Why? God! Welcome back. Okay, no condom, let's roll. All right, I'm rolling the meatballs. These Carmentas were about maybe a little smaller than that, and then Brooklyn DOP were a little larger and they were cut in half. So I think I'm gonna go like right there. I like the way that feels. Here we are, we have our meatballs. So I'm gonna bake these and then I'm gonna throw them in the sauce. We're gonna be able to make some meatball subs. Oh, they look real nice. But I will say, I did overcook them a little bit. The one I just poked was 170 in the middle, which is not where I wanna be. Yeah, 170, whew, yeah. So these are a little overcooked. Whoa, look at the juice running out of that where I poked it. Wow, you see that? It's just like a river. So they're a little overcooked, but I think they're gonna be fine. They feel very tender. And on that note, I think our bread's ready. I'm gonna brush these guys down, I'm gonna seed them up, slash them, throw them in the oven, and pray to God that I didn't f this up. I'm so scared. I am so scared of what's gonna happen, but this is my only shot, so here we go. Into the oven they go. Over to the sauce. We're fishing out our carrots, those wrinkly basil corpses, and our Parmesan rind. You have done your duty. I'm gonna throw some meatballs into the sauce to let the flavors meld, and then once that bread comes out of the oven, it's meatball sub time, baby. Let's try one and see what they're like. Okay. Whew. Not dry, super flavorful. I may have a chance yet, because look at how close and tight textured these are. They're really very sausage-like almost. And then mine over here is nice and loose and tender. And I think texture-wise, I got them licked. Now let's check flavor. That was DOP. Carmentas. Better flavor on Carmentas, if you ask me. No, I'm thrilled with that flavor. Feeling very good about the meatball. Might have a shot, we'll see. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Well, folks, all I have to say is, whew, the bread looks good. I think I got a winner here. Ow! Wow, that's hot. 475-degree oven. These need to cool for a solid hour before we cut into them. The meatballs are done, so now those just have to cool off, and then we're gonna make some sandwiches. It was celebratory. Yeah, I know it looked angry. Few things I need to consider. Do I slice all the way through, or do I slice and leave a spine? Carmentas opens it up like a book, and DOP slices all the way through. So I could do either. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try opening it up like a book, see how this bread holds up to that treatment, and assess from there. Open it up. Okay, I mean, that's a pretty good, that's really sturdy actually. All right, that toasted up real nice under the broiler, exactly 1 minute. And now I'm going to layer cheese. And I'm thinking for flavor, because I did like the provolone, I'm gonna put that on the bottom because it's less melty, and the mozzarella, that's where the fun begins. And then put the meatballs on top with some basil, and then I'm gonna throw it in the oven to just sort of heat everything up, melt the cheese, close it up. We'll see what we end up with. Because I'm so nervous for some reason. I don't know why I have stage fright. This is wild. Perfect. Some basil. Shut her down. I'm gonna wrap it up. just like I'm a real submarine man. I'm gonna let it sit, because this is a key thing. You need to let subs, you need to wrap them up and let them sit. Softens the bread, keeps everything nice and warm. Okay, it's been a few minutes. Want to see what this guy looks like, feels like, tastes like. Okay, that looks pretty fucking good. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good, man. Okay, all right, let's see how it is. It's tasty, but the whole balls are too big. I wonder if I should scoop the bread? It's because like it's hard to get this in the mouth. Yeah, I'm pushing it out the back. I should put down a little sauce on the bottom.
That is a great idea.
And the sauce on the top, it just goes out the side.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna put,
Yep,
that's, okay, the meatballs are big. So I have to compress the bread a little bit. And I have to hope that they don't see that as like a giveaway. But some places might just have big meatballs. Like that's not out of unquestionable. So I'm nervous. I haven't been this nervous in a long time. This is weird. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna assemble these three. I'm gonna wrap them up. And just for authenticity, I'm going to put the subs in this temperature controlled bag and take them for a stroll. All right, I'm going for a walk. Bye.
Andrew, if you take longer than 10 minutes, I'm giving you 4 stars.
I'm already giving you 4 stars. You're not doing anything.
But our judges won't be giving stars. Instead, they'll be ranking each meatball sub from 1st to 3rd place. 1st place gets 3 points, 2nd place gets 2, and 3rd place gets a pity point. Who will win? Well, if I told you that, it'd ruin this portion of the video.
I have immediate thoughts right away. This one looks like it's gonna be my favorite because of all that cheese. But the bread looks like it might hurt my mouth. Cheers, cheers.
Ooh, cheers. There's something familiar about this.
Is it the meat?
This is a meatball sub. That's what it is.
I really like it a lot. Maybe that's just because meatball subs are really good.
Yeah.
But the cheese is on the bottom, and I don't know, it doesn't really affect how I eat it, but there's something about it that makes me smile. The meat itself is a little bit sweet,
Yeah.
which normally I would think that would come from the sauce. I kind of like it though. Look at this big old cheesy bite I got.
Ooh, that's nice.
I'm getting it.
I'm kind of eating this super weird. Remember those Justin Bieber pictures where he ate the burrito sideways? That's me right now. Oh, Kendall.
That's the only way to eat a meatball sub. If you don't look like this
Yeah.
after eating a meatball
You're like
sub.
the Joker right now.
I like it a lot. The sauce kind of falls like it. I forget about it. I don't know. I kind of don't want the sauce to be the main star of this show. I kind of want it to be the meat. And I'd say the meat and bread are like this, but maybe the meat's like this. I like it. I like it.
I think this tastes like something you would get at a restaurant. This is like a $9 meatball sub, you know? I really like food that is like a bang for your buck, and I grew up on it. So there's something about this that's like familiar and nice, and it's like a $10 sub, which I think is nice. Ooh, they're thinner.
Yeah, this is more manageable for me in my eyes, I feel.
We're small mouth people.
Prove it.
Oh. Oh, so different.
It's much more flavorful.
The meatball is gooey.
It's chewier, less soft.
This is easier to eat too.
Me.
Less messy, smaller, fits in your mouth. Ooh.
I don't know what I was supposed to
Meatball
gather.
sub.
This one tastes homemade to me. And I really, again, I'm with you. I can't really put my finger on necessarily why.
I do agree that this feels homemade. And I think it is the cheese that's doing it. And also the specks of cheese on top is like, ooh, I wouldn't have it in a restaurant.
You couldn't be more
I
right.
put my detective, detectives don't wear glasses.
They were
My
hats.
detective magnifying glass,
You put it on?
it falls off. Immediately, it breaks on the ground. I'm the world's worst detective.
I'm really nervous about this one.
Because of the bread, you think it's gonna hurt you?
I think it's gonna hurt the top of my mouth so bad.
Crunchy.
It's good.
This is the least flavorful of the three, in my opinion. Am I off? You know better than me.
Well, I'm tasting oil-soaked bread, and I love that.
Oh, that is nice.
But that's not what I want when I necessarily
No.
am like meatball sub.
I know it's not the cheapest because it looks
Fancy.
fancier, but it tastes the cheapest.
Wow, that's so interesting to me that you said that. I'm really honestly being swayed by the fact that the meatballs are sliced in half for easier small mouth eating.
That is nice.
The bread is soft, but even though it looks hard, and it tastes like pizza crust, which I love. I would eating this blindfolded, I wouldn't tell you that it's a meatball sub, but that being said,
Right?
I do very much like eating it. So
Maybe that's just what I'm thinking. It doesn't taste meatball subby to me.
very little sauce, which again is
No
something
sauce.
that I love.
Where's the sauce?
Where's the sauce?
Let me put on my magnifying glass.
I have a lot of anxiety around which one is Andrew's. Yeah. All right. This is my least favorite because I just ate the meat again and I didn't like the meat texture and sweetness. Other than that, as a meatball sub, it does the job. When I look up in the dictionary, what's a meatball sub? This is what comes up. My second favorite is this one, and the reason it's not getting first place, even though I love eating it, is because it's not, when I look up in the dictionary, meatball sub, this is not what comes up. In fact, this is more pizza sandwich with meat on it, but I do like it. And that therefore means that this is my favorite because it is in the dictionary under meatball sub, but also the flavors are more, I'm thinking about them more. They're resonating with me, you know? That's how I feel.
I think this tastes the worst. This is my second favorite, and I really enjoyed it because it tastes kind of nostalgic, like an old school meatball sub. And then this tastes the best, and it's my favorite. I like that can fit in your mouth better
Yeah.
because I'm in the small mouth crew.
Small mouth crew.
It's perfect. It's a perfect meatball sub.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you now. From camera, right to left, we have
This?
Brooklyn DOP.
Carmentas.
Kendall, you hate Andrews? Kendall!
I knew I was signing my death warrant.
You hate Andrews cooking.
No, I don't.
You hate to see it.
I don't have a palate, like a refined palate. I'm a girl dinner, taquitos and a Kraft Mac cup, you know? So I will do my best.
This is fine dining for you.
Yeah, oh yeah, that one has green. Basil?
Basil.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Cheers.
Cheers. Crunchy and mushy. Were you getting that as well?
Yeah. I found this one could use more sauce.
I was gonna say, I wasn't really actually getting much sauce on this one. I like the cheese.
Good choice, good amount of cheese.
It's not like overwhelming me in any direction.
Solid, but not like great.
I agree, solid. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh,
That's a good.
fat meatball.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I knew. It's like, has nutmeg in it? You know, if I were to put a label on it, it's like there's a flavor. It doesn't have nutmeg. Let me be clear, it doesn't have nutmeg, but it's like if I knew what the flavor was, I would say it. It has like a flavor to it.
Yeah, there's a mystery spice in there. The meatballs look better. Like that's something I want to bite into.
Wow. More spices in this meatball than that meatball.
I think more meatballs better. I will say there's much less cheese.
Yeah, and I miss the cheese.
More sauce. They
More
kind
sauce,
of
yeah.
flipped it.
Okay, shall we?
All right, number 3. This one's heavy.
It's heavy.
Oh.
Wow. I'm scared. Look at that. Look at that guy. I'm scared.
Should I add subtitles?
I think this is the best bread.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, bread's the best, and I love sesame seeds.
Looks good, tastes good.
Is a meatball dry?
It's much springier.
Yeah.
These were a little bit like dense, like they kind of overworked.
Yeah.
I think this one has like more body.
I almost don't like how much sauce is on it.
Too much sauce.
Maybe.
It's overflowing for sure. I like this one a lot at the beginning, and now it's kind of.
I felt that way too. The first bite was my favorite out of all of the first bites. But
Yes.
then the more I ate it, the less I felt that way.
I think I like the bread on that one. This one has so much cheese. I feel like I love that like cheese is so, that could be like half the ingredient for me.
It's kind of like pizza though, like a meatball pizza. Because it's like crust.
Is that good or bad?
Should we point like to the third
Okay,
place?
Yeah, do that. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh!
3, 2, 1.
Our winner.
There's actually something really good about each one of them, but this one, like, sometimes like that, you just need your fundamentals to work.
Yeah, and I in the end, after having all the breads, even though I love sesame, I felt like that was my favorite bread.
Yeah, the meatballs were juicier. The cheese was generous.
Cheese was generous. They were
Yeah.
kind to us. I don't love, this is just a me fact, I don't love marinara sauce, like tomato sauce. I'm also swayed away from a saucy item.
Yeah.
So we're starting with this one, meatball subs. Somebody made some of these, somebody else made some other ones, right? Cheers.
Andrew has a sandwich hiding in here somewhere.
I'll know immediately which one is his. So should I reveal that, or is that not part of the game? Because I've seen his in the broad daylight so many times. I know exactly what it looks like and tastes like and smells like. So I'm just saying, if that ruins the game, I shouldn't be playing. But this is delicious.
Enormous ball on this one. I mean, that is meaty. Generous portion of meatball, and it's delicious.
Damn near perfect bread, right? I'm not asking for anything more.
It's a soft meatball too.
Yes, the meatballs are perfect mouth
So tender.
bite, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to
Acidic.
like eat all of it. I want to like preserve some level of hunger for each one, you know? Oh, this is a big boy.
This is a huge boy.
Big
Wetter.
balls too.
Big balls. Cheers. Some cheese in this one. I'm sensing cheese with my tongue.
Maybe a more herbaceous ball? You know, there's a little more nose in the ball?
I see more nose in the ball.
I think so.
I can smell it as well. It's a softer bread, but it has a little bit more of the toasty
I think
bits.
Yeah, I think I like the bread more. This bread, I think, a little crustier on the out, little chewier on the in.
That first meatball had the texture of like school lunch meatballs, where it's so uniform texture throughout. This, I'm getting an inkling, is Andrew's because the meat just has more of that ground meat texture to it. Tastes more homemade.
There's a uniqueness there. I don't have the words, having worked in food this long and still do not know how to describe food. But there are other flavors beneath the flavors that I like.
Undertones.
Yeah, there's undertones.
These two are hard to distinguish. These two are pretty good.
They're both very good. All right, let's take
right.
this one that looks different. Kind of calzone though, you
A
know?
little bit calzone. Ooh. I was expecting less. I'm kind of very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, this one hits me in the heartstrings, you know?
Really?
This is nostalgic for me. I don't know, it's
is
good.
like-
It's very good.
The ciabatta
Yeah,
is a very interesting choice. I think it makes more sense. This is what you traditionally see, right?
right.
Seeded hero. But this, the flavor is almost sourdoughy.
Yeah.
That's
like I
nice.
said, calzone, a little pizza-y.
The Andrew element here is I feel like there's a creamy element, some sort of bechamel almost. That is something
Cheese-
that he does.
Cheese forward though, I don't know if that's what he does.
That's true. Not cheese forward. The creamy taste. Let me taste the ball. Wait. I actually like this one a lot.
It's a sleeper. It's a sleeper.
It's a sleeper.
Really hard. Really, really hard.
This is really difficult.
Let's plate down. Let's
Yeah.
plate down. Now, we're apart.
More time.
Wait, hang on. Keep them on the plates they were on because
Oh,
otherwise
sorry.
it's gonna get really confusing.
Sorry, you're right. I forgot we were on a show. Immediately, all right. Now we can just eat these. Like any good high-level event, I'm not happy with my findings. You know, like there's nothing resounding. You know,
No.
I'm not trumpeting this.
I thought it
you
was
know?
going to be a lot more clear cut and dry.
I love them all.
I love
you
them
know?
all.
I really do.
Every single one fully and without remorse.
Yeah. I have to go 3, 2, 1. And like I said, it's not easy. I have a happiness about this one that like purely eating, maybe it's 2, you know, but like it's so cheese forward, it's kind of more childish in a way, which appeals to me, but then stacked up against this, it's got more going on, and then this has so much going on, and so much of it is damn near perfect that it has to, for me, be number 1.
And with that,
lunch. I gotta go.
Well, Brad, I'm a little tipsy because for some reason making 3 meatball subs was an extremely long day for me. I don't know why, but I could barely handle it. Clearly, I can't ever get a real job. Please keep watching this channel. Please, I can't get a real job because this took it out of me. But I'm ready to be dealt the hand that I will be dealt in this game, this crazy game of poker we call life. Third. We're starting with third. Okay. Third. Carmentas. Okay, that's a relief. I'm not third. Thank fucking God. I would be very sad right now if I was third. But honestly, I would have put Carmentas over Brooklyn DOP. I really liked Carmentas. Granted, they'd used the fresh mozzarella, which I know that wasn't as favorite for everybody, but I liked Carmentas. I really admired how the bread was exactly meatball sized, like they were 1 unit. I mean, it makes sense, because if I read second, then I'm gonna know what first is, so it just makes sense that I read first. No way. Come on. No way. Bull. Come on. No way. Come on.
You did it.
No way. Are you serious? I feel like I'm gonna cry. I don't know what's going on. Fight the emotions. You're on camera. Wow. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Because when those subs arrived this morning, I was sure I was gonna get trounced because they were so good. Oh my God.
Turns out you can cook.
Turns out I can cook. Jesus God. So much respect for Carmentas and Brooklyn DOP, because those were really, really good sandwiches. And
Also, the point difference between each one, you won by 1 point over DOP, and DOP won by 1 point over Carmentas.
wow.
I gotta go 3, 2, 1.
Won by 1 point. Wow, I'm saving this forever. I'm gonna keep this in a pocket. I'm gonna start wearing shirts with pockets next to my heart so I can keep it next to my heart. For now, I'll just, oh, it just went down to a dark place.
Doesn't it always?
Yeah. Thanks again to Trade Coffee for sponsoring this episode. Today I'm enjoying a medium roast from Atomic Coffee Brewers Pour Over style. I like that I can browse Trade's selection of specialty coffees and see which they recommend for hot or iced coffee. They scour the country for the best roasts and list the best ones on their site. Trade is so confident you'll love your experience with them that they're offering 30% off your first month. Visit drinktrade.com/Babish to try it out.